wait 2 hours for it.
Okay.
Hey, I'm actually,
You need a motion to come
what my
back in?
schedule says.
Can we get a motion to come back into
So moved.
second? Okay. We have to vote. Okay. All in favor of coming back into session?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we're back in the Finance Committee budget hearings, day one. Bill's gonna be here a little bit. He was, what did you say? He thought he was 11 o'clock, he'd be here. So we'll go into Joel. One last thing that we were talking about while we were out of session there. I asked Amanda, when everybody agrees, but one, I think we're missing the sheet for the capital improvements for the admin building. I can't find that, so we need to get that from Chris. And in that, I'm sure there's not going to be a lot of detail. It'll be about, like the other one, has one line item with a big number in it. We need the detail in there, which would include the standard amount we had in there for the heat pumps, and it didn't sound like he had anything else in there, or very little else in there, but I would like to request him to put in the cost of that chiller at the courthouse. He got a more recent estimate. I was talking with John from Train, and it was somewhere in the $130,000-ish range versus the $370 we originally were told a year ago, or whatever it's been now. And I think we need to at least, for the time being, put that in the budget and plan on it, and then if the energy savings investigation turns out that we can do it for less, that would be great. But it sounds like it's limping by now, and we probably need to put it in there, would be my best guess. At least for the time being, and we can always discuss that more before the end of all this. Okay. Then I guess we'll go into Joel's highway.
What's the first page you got, the 610, County Highway?
Yeah.
Okay.
610, 815.
Not a lot of changes on the revenue side. Sales property, estimated 10,000. We've got a distributor I'm like, if I can find a replacement for it, I'd like to get rid of. I'm not going to have anything this year. I had 2 tandems. We traded them rather than selling them. So that's a little change. Insurance reimbursement's up a little bit. That insurance reimbursement is for my maintenance staff. I lost 2 maintenance, one left for another job, the other one semi-retired. Well, actually, he left for another job too. He's just doing a 6-monther for the state. I don't know, the guys that are coming in, I don't know what they're going to need as far as whether they're going to be family or what, or whether they'll have their own, some of the guys had their own insurance, so that's the reason that should be enough to cover everybody in the back as far as insurance-wise. Equipment rental, I did our standard 140 this year. We had 175. We're planning on doing the Leonard Road. I'm still hoping to do some work on it, but I don't know. I'm looking at hiring a couple guys here at the end of the month, beginning of next month. So hopefully depending on their ability level, we may still do that. So, Township Bridge Engineering is down a little bit next year, but we've only got one Township Bridge we're intending on doing. Asphalt emulsions, I'm still trying to get a handle on that. I've got 2 townships that own the distributor, and I think we now have 4 total patchers in the county, so I'm trying to get a handle on how much oil the townships are using out of it. That's what they pay us for the convenience of coming and picking it up at our place rather than having to go to Champaign every time. So let's go to the expense side. Department head, or the assistant department head, I figured 2.5% raise for him. Basically, the rest of the salaries were all according to the contract. Group insurance, once again, I upped that because I be over quite a bit this year, from what I scheduled, because two of the individuals that had, I think they were insured by their spouse's insurance, now are under the county highway, so hadn't figured on that. Gas and oil, as you I'm sure have noticed, the prices went up this year, so I added to that. GIS fund, I've got our culvert inventory done, and I'm starting to work on doing a new site inventory program with them, so that's what that's for. Let's see if there's anything else that's out of. Go down here to asphalt emulsions. Like I said, I'm still trying to get a handle on it. When it comes down to purchase of equipment, I'll let you guys know. I don't know what's going to happen with that because I don't know what the auditors are going to do. We had the letting, was it in March? Does that sound right? You guys know? And awarded the contract. The trucks aren't, the cabs and chassis aren't going to show up till October, which only gives them 2 months to finish them, to get them done in this fiscal year. So I don't know what the auditors are going to do because
We're not sure.
one time the auditor wants it to be from the date when we did the purchase order to the next time they want it delivered, depending on which calendar year it goes into. So I don't know where they're going to want to put that, but I just left it as it is. And next year we'll have a payment for a loader, and I'm looking, like I said, I'm looking at upgrading our distributor. So it looks like with all that, we'd have about a $6,000 deficit on it. I've got, I think it's 1.2 million in the reserves in that line item right now. So, if you got any questions on any of that?
These guys, these are all new guys that are causing that conflict, like on the group insurance, or?
Yeah, because I just basically figured that, I added the couple that
Changed this year.
changed this year, and then I just assumed the new guys were going to have complete family.
Yeah.
So, I didn't know what else to do. I'm hoping it's not nearly that bad, but I'd rather be
Right.
err on the side of caution.
Is that on your gas and oil, the fuel there, is it, you use more coming up here at the end of the year? It looks like the run rate's a little bit less than that, where we're at.
Yeah, and I think, I was figuring at the time, I was thinking that prices were still headed up, but I noticed here they went back down, so.
Sure.
And that, and I like I said, if these two guys have the abilities I need that I'm looking to hire, we may start on the Leonard Road, which was going to eat up some more fuel if we end up starting that, so.
Okay. Anybody else have questions? Okay, I think we have 625, 815.
Okay, county motor fuel tax.
Yep.
Budget numbers on the income side, basically very similar to what last year's, except the interest seems to be doing a little better. The expense side, I put in on mine a 1.5%. There was a rumor that they were going to do that this year, but the other rumor is it's going to be 0 for the county engineer. So I don't know. I figured I'd put in the highest I heard and hope for the best, and we'll deal with what we get. So the salaries. Once again, that's including the two. I'm looking at 2 new guys. I think that might be the forecast is probably a little high on this year because we're not quite at that rate, but that's kind of what I'm looking at. I lost 1 maintenance 3, 1 maintenance 2, and I'm hopefully going to hire in 2 maintenance 2, so it'll be a little bit of savings that transfer to county highway, that is for the group insurance for the maintenance workers, which is the matching correspondence on insurance. It's called insurance reimbursement on 610. And the same way with the equipment rental is the same as the income side on the county highway, and then contractor and supplies for our oil and chip, our stone, our culverts, and usually our edge line. Going to be under what I budgeted last year. Like I said, our paving jobs came in a little bit under, and we still haven't, I know we're not going to get all the winter's road done if we get even this spending on it this year, so I know not all the expenses will come out of that. Anybody got questions on any of those?
I think I'm good. Anyone else? Okay. We had the salary stuff there,
Okay,
an insert on that.
okay.
Looks like 2.5%.
Yeah, 1.5 for myself, 2.5 for everybody else. The one part-timer shows a 100%, but that's just because they didn't do any work this year, so.
Okay. Right. Okay, 850,
County
County Bridge. Yeah.
Okay, County Bridge is the income, there's really not much to speak of on the income. It's all property tax and interest. The expenses, I know I've got one, this is the fund we use to match townships for their bridge construction. I know I've got one township bridge that's going to be built, and at least two big culvert projects, which we're not sure on the cost yet, and what our cost share is going to be on that. So that's our best guess on what our share of the township bridges and culverts are going to be next year.
Okay. Anything on that, guys? And then we had matching tax next.
Matching tax is the one we use to match federal funds for county highway projects. We didn't have the one paving job this year. The other job we did not got pushed back on the federal schedule next year. Next year, we could potentially have two bridges, which normally is not that amount, but the one bridge is major bridge funds, which is the Woodland Bridge. That's 1.2 million, and we'll have our share of that will be 20%. So that's the reason that number's there. But once again, with federal money, the timing, it may all come out of 2019. It may be split over 2019, 2020. Depending on when it gets led, when they construct it, when they get all the final paperwork done, it's kind of a crapshoot for me to try and guess which year. I just go by my best guess.
All right. Township Bridge.
Township Bridge, I know we only have one bridge scheduled for next year. We're getting short on our DEP funding. We should have enough allotment by June of next year to do do that one bridge. The last two bridges we had were a little more expensive than we were planning. Than we were hoping. I guess we hadn't planned on it, but we were hoping it would come in cheaper. So we've got one bridge that'll be next year, and that's what the numbers are there. $1,356. That's what our allotment is. But the way that the allotments are, we never actually get them in hand until we actually let the bridge. So once we let the bridge, we request the money, and we have to have it in the allotment sitting there, so.
Okay, we had 635, township motor fuel tax.
This is always the best guess, because I've got 26 road commissioners, and I don't never know exactly what they're all planning. This should cover the amount I had, should cover all the oil and chip. And then I figured in also two major culvert projects. Major, I'm saying over 100,000, which would be 50,000 for them and 50 for us. So that's pretty much where I came up with those numbers. I don't know, as you well know, the motor fuel tax depends on the amount of sales, so I'm just kind of going off the trend of where we've been, assuming $2,400,000 is going to be about the number where we're going to be.
How's that one exactly work? I mean, just looking back over history here, a lot of those other ones, there's years where we're positive and years where we're negative. This one looks like we're negative all the way along. But
well, that's part of that is they had several of the townships when it started turning over the state slabs. There were several of them that got $1 million plus checks, so that it's still in their accounts. I mean, we've got $5 million balance or something in town in township motor fuel. Yeah, we keep a pretty good eye on that. We don't let them get it.
yeah. Okay. Okie dokie. I think that's all we have. Anything else you have for us? Or?
Unless you guys got something for me.
Don't think so. All right, thank you. Mr. Tom.
We sit right here with Bill.
That's right. Well, I think our first page we have is the general fund 110.
And we do have a change.
Okay.
A slight correction in a supervisor's salary. The number you have is 69,673. Should be putting down now 69,223. Which changes the bottom line from 406 to 1135 to 405, 761 and 71.
You're just going to keep whacking those down as we go down the page here? Okay.
And with the rest of that, outside of the salaries, as the chairman knows, I've talked to him, we have an agreement with our contract, a 5-year agreement. Still hasn't been signed yet, passed out yet, but it's been agreed to, which was 2% for fiscal year 18 and 2.5 for fiscal year 19. So that's built into this already.
Okay.
So the only thing that changes on that general fund is the salaries, and then I did put more in detention, which is an uncontrollable cost to a fund.
Why is that so high?
It's next year it could be under 20. It could be, it's just one of those, we just don't, you have higher detention for some reason. We use a scoring tool to screen somebody for detention, so it's the same all the time. It's not depending on the individual or who's doing the screening or anything like that. It's just something that changes in Kinky office too. So those are the only two numbers that have changed. And again, like I said, detention can come in way under.
Okay. Next one we had was $355 probation services fee.
Yeah, again, that's the probation fund. Very little changes on that. Again, we are taking operations out of that. And we also are going to be purchasing some new computers for both offices. Both Kinky and Iroquois will come out of the special funds, out of that fund, so.
It looks like all the expenses are the same as last year's budget. It's just,
Pretty much the same.
what drives those probation fees that you're projecting?
Put on supervision's ordered a fee, and that fee can range up to $50 a month. That depends on their situation. The judge ordered 10, 20, 15, 30, 50. They're collected. So actually, Iroquois' collection rate is pretty good. Kinky's is not. Our collection rate up there is not good at all. But Iroquois does a good job of getting it, of collecting that money. So that's again, that number, Steve, it can change a little bit. It's not year to year, but it's going to. And with the Bail Reform Act that took place in January 1st, where there's a category of offenses that you're released without posting, we're starting to see now lower rates because of, now you post bond, you go to court, you're found guilty, you plead guilty, you're put on supervision, assessed a fee, it's taken out of that bond sitting there. All your fines and court costs are taken out. Now that's not going to be available. It's not going to be available to take out of, so now it's going to, we're already positioning ourselves that that collector rate's going to fall a little bit. But like I said, there's no other changes on that.
Okay, next one we had was $357 probation ops fees.
And that's basically very similar to probation fee. It's a $10 fee placed on most cases that go through the system for court services operations. So it's and again, really no changes.
No changes. Okay. Well,
We run it pretty, we come in under budget.
yeah, it looks like you just need to keep the juveniles out of the boarding.
Well, that's what I said, if you take the 10 out of that general fund, it's doing very well.
Yeah.
I just hope they don't raise the age of the juvenile.
To 27.
Yeah.
37.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions? Thank you.
All right, any questions, give me a call.
Okay, very good, thanks. Mr. Bill, I think we can go to you. Thank you. I think we had some confusion on the timing there, but...
Yeah.
Pull back. Okay. Looks like we're looking at number 110 in the general fund for the coroner. Looks like we're the same budget as 2018?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. There's going to be no changes.
Very good. Then we go to 335, the coroner automation fund. It looks like Amanda was saying that Anita did some work with this for you, or?
Yeah, well, I mean, I didn't, she always wanted to know, how much money do you think you're going to take out of that? And
Right.
I said, I have no clue. I said, I've got two funds that I don't take funds out of. And because unless I need it for tires or, and I'm like, or brakes or something like that, I said, but, you know, for me to say, I'm gonna definitely take out $3,000, I can't do that because I don't know that I'm gonna have that kind of expense.
Sure.
And, you know, the automation fund, what that is, that's $50 that, for every cremation permit that we issue goes into that automation fund.
Okay.
And that's based on how many cremations we have for the year. So I don't even know, you know, like I told Anita, I said, I can't tell you we're gonna have 50 or 36. You know, I don't know how to determine what's gonna go in. So she would just say, well then, you know, she goes, do you think you need anything? And I said, well, you know, we almost hit some deer one night and we messed up the brakes, so I had to go in and get some brakes. But if I wouldn't have had that, I mean, probably wouldn't have even touched it, you know.
Sure.
So, but then, so I don't know if you have to have a figure that we might take out.
Well, we
or-
probably need to put something in there. I would probably just suggest, looking back at history here, just, unless someone has a better idea, probably something similar to what we had in the 2018 budget.
Yeah, that's fine.
Just go with that, and then if something like that does occur, we got something earmarked in there for you.
Okay. Now, the other one is the grants on death certificate surcharge. I don't plan on, what that money is, we get a grant each year from the state, and basically all I'm doing is I'm keeping that money aside for someday down the road when the quarter needs a new van, that money will be there. And I don't plan on,
Sure.
I know I mean, I'll never go through the whole automation fund plus the, you know, plus what's in that, but I'm just using that for a new van down the road.
Say that again, what that fee comes from, because this year it looks like it's way higher than normal.
What that is, when there's death certificates that are bought through the county, part of that fee in those to the funeral home goes into a fund to the state, and then the state divides that 4 ways. I get a portion of it. I think Lisa Fancher gets a part of it. The Illinois State Police Training Board gets a portion of it. It's divided 4 ways.
Okay.
So once again, that pot's is built on how many deaths, how many death certificates are bought and everything. So it does fluctuate every year based on how much money is put in that fund.
It looks really high this year.
Yeah.
Compared, it seemed like, if we look back at what we're looking at here, it's $4,500 or just under that for about 5 years in a row, and 5 years in a row. And then this year it's already up to $13,000, and we're not even finished with the year.
Well, I think that's all those years put together. That's, you know, you might see like a 4, I mean, because it runs about, because I have not received my grant for,
Okay.
so I thought that might be the total you're looking at.
We might need to look into that. It says year-to-date for 2018, but
Yeah.
maybe we just need to double-check that number. But regardless, I would say, unless someone has an objection, we just do similar to what we did in 2018, and for as far as the budget goes.
I think that what that is, that's the total for
Okay.
all those years combined, because that's about where the total's at.
Okay.
So,
That
I
might be
think
the fund balance or
because
something.
like I said, that fund hasn't been touched, and that's about where it should be as far as what's in that fund.
Okay.
So I think that's when you see that 13,000, I think that's the total. There was one year that the state swiped that money from us, so we didn't get anything.
Okay.
So,
16,
it might have been 16, yeah,
You're negative there.
yeah, they swiped that fund from, because the state needed
Is it
money.
possibly they could do it again?
No, we've got that locked down now. They can't do that. We've signed, we've got it where they can't touch it.
Yeah, that does look like a total for running though.
Yeah, that's like a running total for everything.
Well, we can look at, or Amanda can look into that one, but I'm sure you're probably right. But I would say for, just like we did on the last one, we put 2019, we do similar to what the 2018 budget was. And
Because I asked her if there was, you know, I said, what happens if I say we're going to spend $3,000, we don't? She says, it's no big deal.
Well, it's a special fund, so yeah, I think probably ought to put, I would just say we do it like we did in the last year's budget. Okay, everyone else okay with that?
That's fine, that's fine.
Well, you're pretty easy.
I knew it wouldn't take long, so, yeah, I mean, there's,
Remember, he's a corner, we don't know.
there's not much there, it's just those autopsy line items, the big one.
Yeah, Russell?
I missed something on, on 335, showing the automation fund,
Uh-huh.
the forecast.
Yeah, I see what
Where's,
something's
On
adding up
revenues?
funny there on your worksheet, Amanda. Might be just a
Yeah,
equation or
I
something.
had a feeling there's a typo there, but I don't want to see it extended down any other place because,
This here? Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
see that?
I think it's
Yeah.
just a
Yeah,
formula.
I think
down
it's a digit over
Yeah.
somewhere.
there. Yep,
Okay, got it.
Okay.
all right. Thank you very much.
very good, thank you.
I think we had, what, finance and IT,
Finance.
anything else left?
Nope,
Nope, that's it. Okay, and we don't, do we have a worksheet at least for that?
there's a
Thank you.
Okay.
nothing really on it, but
IT.
the only thing really there is, Jill's
Yep.
salary, but that's a contracted increase.
Okay. Are we having an IT meeting this month?
I hope so.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, then we need to put it on the
Have a check with Troy.
agenda, talk with Troy and put it on the agenda that we need to get line item 6550 there, software contracts and licenses. Probably need to talk with, I'm assuming he's gonna need to talk with area wide to get the most up to date.
We
That's what
did
that.
discuss that at the last time.
Oh, yeah, you were there. Sorry,
Yeah,
I wasn't there.
We did have one here 30 days ago, or within the last 30 days,
Okay.
and that was discussed, but I didn't see any big changes. You know, there were some issues coming down with some, county clerk's voter registration, a few things we didn't know where that was gonna go.
Right, and they were getting us some pricing also.
Yeah, they're gonna give us some numbers, so.
Well, I would say that line item and the service contracts, I assume that's the area wide that hits that one as well for the just ongoing calls or whatever.
Most
or
of those.
support. I think that's what those two line items are. Those ones we
The
need,
contract license, that's
I guess-
pretty much locked in.
probably put Troy and area wide on trying, Troy's meaning the IT committee and area wide on locking down those two numbers on what those need to be. Because those are a couple of the big ones. Systems expense, is that just a placeholder that was in the 2018 budget? I don't remember what that was for.
I don't know.
And then there was the contingency. I would say, Amanda, this is just my idea, if someone has a disagreement, but just for getting some numbers in the budget so that we can look at, I'm gonna actually start at the bottom, but let's just put the same contingency in for the time being, and maintenance and repairs. We'll work with, what do you normally do on like employee benefits or the accumulated sick pay? Is that something we can actually calculate, or?
Yes, the employee benefits, I think, we'll just go through and see what type of sick pay people have as of right now and calculate, just assume that people are going to take their half-rate sick pay.
Okay.
And I can come up with a number.
But if you could come up with a number on that one.
Okay.
And then the next two up, sorry, I'm
Actually, that
going
one,
backwards.
I'm sorry, that one right there was for Mary Ann's retirement, so I was wrong on
Okay.
that one. That one, we can scratch that.
So we don't need anything?
We don't need
Okay,
that,
very
no.
good. And then, like I said, the...
You said
the fif-
contingent
the-
15?
I guess just for the time being,
Okay.
we'll put that in there.
What's that, contingency?
I think it's just a
What might
placeholder.
come along, huh?
Yeah. Like I said, we can, I think we're a long way from this being finalized, but I'm just, in order to get some numbers in there so we can roll everything up, I'm just saying, put it in there, and I'm not married to that. I guess we can debate that later, but just put it in there for the time being, because I think that's been kind of a traditional thing, that then they can, we've moved to other areas, and maybe not even finance and IT, but other areas where we need something. The software contracts and licenses and service contracts, we need IT/area wide to help us with those.
Do those ever get put out for bid, or is that just automatically the chosen one? Because I remember Anita saying that there wasn't per se a contract for them to do like it's just time and
Yeah.
wage.
Yeah, that's the way we do it.
Russell would have a better background on how if there's, I don't think there is I've never heard of a contract
I don't
personally,
think so either.
specifically, no.
There's no
Or,
contract, it's,
and therefore bidding or anything like that, but
Just call when needed, isn't it?
I guess my I see what you're saying, like, can we do it for cheaper or something like that, or
Well,
just to know, or...
Just to know.
Just to know.
So, to make sure, because, I know Anita had at one time said, well, I just keep track of that, myself.
Yeah.
Well, that's a lot to expect anybody else to keep track of, so maybe we need to have something
Well-
a little bit more substantial than that.
Agreed. I would suggest that for the time being, we just hold pat until we get this, and I'll make a comment here about I guess now. I think we're going to try and hold some interviews here in the next week or two for
That position.
that position. That's what I was talking about with Kyle and John on Friday. Maybe, yeah, I guess just leave it at that, but we'd like to get something figured out, obviously. What we had talked about there a while ago about having the accounting firm do it and stuff, there's conflicts of interest, and that's not going to work. The only other option down that avenue would be either to find another accounting firm,
For the audit.
or to either do the audit or do the consulting, one or the other. And I think there was a more recent candidate and several others that looked a little more promising, that were actually, I was telling Amanda, some of the ones that we've gotten, it looks like since we put it on websites and things of that nature, like Indeed and all these different job search web, some of them are from outside the state, and from my own opinion would look like they just push apply, and we get a lot of, I don't know that they necessarily are planning on moving to Watsika and really want to be here,
Right.
based on their location and experience and things of that nature. But there was a couple here that have come in that look like they might be promising, so I think we're going to try and line some stuff up here, and at least try and schedule those here before the end of the week, or not necessarily take place this week, but at least get into contact with them, and talk with the other people that will be part of that. So the point being of why I'm bringing all that up is, one, it'd be nice to get something here before the end of August settled down so that we can put it in the budget. And the second thing is that, back to your original point, making a lot of other changes in the middle of having already kind of dicey situation, just because we don't have a person in that position. I guess my personal feeling would be, I'm not saying we shouldn't be looking or, double checking, but maybe we wait until things get, we get somebody in that position, or get that,
No,
the lay of the land a little bit
Maybe we
more.
need to have it
Yeah,
in writing and
Yeah.
little more,
understood. Yeah.
because their prices as you go across kind of look a little, sometimes they're,
No, I don't think it would hurt to, it never hurts to
a
double
lot of
check.
track based off of the expense that we had previously, especially when we had
Yeah.
it done in-house,
Yeah.
is
really expensive, yeah.
really.
No, definitely a savings over where I guess it previously was, but it never hurts to keep
Right.
vigilant about it and double checking, but my preference would be, let's do that once we have somebody that can worry about it every day, because I don't have the time.
Continued demand coming at that given area.
Exactly.
Because it's constantly being changed. The software companies
Sure is.
are really having fun.
Yep, no, for sure.
They're making money.
Educations and dues expenses, mileage and travel, I would just probably put them in at the 2018 budget level for the time being, just as a placeholder. Systems expense, I'm not 100% sure, we might need to look back what that was for. There are some years back there where the amount did get up into that 15,000 that was in the current year budget, but obviously we haven't used that, and I'm not 100% sure what that line item is. Maybe we need to figure that one out.
Which one?
Systems expense for 15,000 that was in the 2018 budget. We haven't spent it, but in a couple years ago, there were some
The 63.
larger items there.
6350.
Probably just need to look at that and see what's going on, because it doesn't look like last year we spent anything, and we haven't yet this year, so.
Right.
Here's the.
Computer, paper,
So
and
that
office
was-
expense,
was that
I'd probably
15
leave the
grand?
same unless you...
Okay, yeah. Notes from last year.
2 computers.
2 computers, 7 in the assessment office. And that's
That
one
was the
thing.
budgeting for this
for-
year,
For this year, yeah, and that's what
for
we're
those new
talking about.
computers that had to be purchased.
And that's what was discussed in the IT committee in the last 30 days was there was things that really should be done that has not now since,
That we should get
yeah,
in
that
there
we're
since
moving
the
forward
budget-
to.
Since
So
the money was already
yeah, and
appropriated.
so right now, when you're looking at our projected, we're not spending nothing in those, there is something that's going to be coming out of those because they're proceeding with some of those projects.
Well,
And a lot of them
I would also
what
say...
they call cybersecurity issues, like on that contingent one. There's, that 15 grand that was budgeted last year. There's a lot of security issues, and again, we'll go back to the Habit issue with the voting, where, yeah, the state got hacked pretty good.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll add that in with the other 2 that need to go back to IT and figure out what we're doing on those for a 2019 perspective. I'd leave the computer and copier paper the same as the 2018 budget. Office expense, Amanda, is there any reason, looks like we're up some this year, or do you think, I guess just off the top of your head, is there anything specific that's causing anything?
I can have Jill look into it
Okay.
since she orders that.
Okay, well, let's get a number up, maybe have her help get a number on that. And then Amanda and Jill both, we probably need to have a discussion, as a committee, a discussion about those 2 in conjunction with the head of the department. I guess we can
Go from there.
yeah, I don't know how exactly we're supposed to do that or whatever, but we might need to have a closed session or something to discuss those, or we can do that at the next finance committee meeting, or perhaps we can get that straightened out, or get a number in there. Well, actually, the deputy, Jill's, as it stands today, is it's already negotiated, like you said, but we need to have further discussions nonetheless about that, so we'll put that on the next agenda, I guess.
On the regular finance agenda, not the budget hearing, correct?
Yeah, let's do that. So that should hopefully get us some numbers in there if we do all those things. 140 is the County Information Systems Fund on the next page. Is this the monies that were being transferred from the automation funds from the
Yeah.
other groups?
From others.
I guess I would probably just put it in as the same as what we've had, the 10,000. The interest, I don't know. Maybe we need to look at, it seems like on all these, the interest is, all these funds we got, we're making more money,
And that one's a little bit of nothing, so,
yeah, whatever.
The transfer from other funds was the health department in 911.
Okay.
I think they raised it to 5,000.
Okay.
Right?
Do we have any, I guess we probably, Eric was in here earlier, but maybe make a note, do we talk with them? I guess we don't talk with them.
yeah, we do.
E-shipper, oh, here we are. Maybe make a note that we need to talk when they're in here, just to confirm that that's still the direction. They're both in here August 9th.
Okay, she did say too that, if we go ahead and get that elevator, that she would donate towards that project, or, so, that needs to be kind of thrown in there at some point too,
Okay. This is for,
to get
Upstairs?
paperwork upstairs, yeah,
Okay.
to get that organized and utilize that space a little better, and then have more office
Oh,
space freed up.
Storage area back
Yeah,
there.
which
Yeah.
therefore would need to be on Chris's, that whole
it
capital thing that
does,
we,
yes.
okay. So maybe make another note that we need to,
Well, the finance committee, the guy that came in said he'll have a proposal and a drawing on what we're
okay,
possibly do. That's nothing been cleared that we are doing it at this point, but
But it'd be nice if we could do it, that we actually set aside the money, you don't have to wait till a new
okay.
fiscal.
Then maybe just put that on the agenda for the next August 9th that we talk about the elevator or whatever.
Yeah. Who was using that for
could
storage? I
put it
mean,
on a finance
There's
committee meeting.
storage from everybody up
agenda
there.
too.
Yep.
I think we
Needs
probably ought to,
organized.
because
Is that the one
I guess I
with
wasn't
the
100%
county
clear on
clerk?
it. I know I wasn't here last month, but
There's
And
big books.
management, or
The
just?
big books.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
for sure on ours, and I assume they want to talk about it too, but
Yeah, I think Mark Hendricks put it up there.
It's nice up there, it could be really something.
But you gotta crawl a ladder, right?
No, you walk upstairs.
Oh, stairs.
okay. Well, we put it on the agenda that we need to bring back up the elevator thing. So we will kick the can down the road on that one here. I would just put that in there as a placeholder for now, though, on this number 140, that they're gonna give us the money and put the interest in and what it was. I just put the same budget in as 2018 and just make a note that we need to talk with them. Then I guess we're on to 110, general fund, county board. Or, sorry.
Yeah.
The county board.
And that's just, floor chairman salary, vice chair salary. The deputy clerk salary, that's a portion of Jill for animal control.
Okay.
And then we can figure the committee meetings, the mileage and so on.
Put it,
So it should be simple.
yeah. If you can maybe put some numbers in. I'm guessing it's probably done near what we put in last time. It's gonna be pretty darn close.
Right.
As far as the county board members and committee services, office expense. Last year, there was a nice round number of $2,320. Do we,
What was that?
the office expense, county board? I'd put $2,000 in. I don't know, unless somebody knows why we,
I'll look back and see what was purchased
Okay.
for office expense and see
yeah,
exactly what
come up with
was
something
used.
else.
A lot of those office expenses are
check out
The
the
new name
history books.
tags for incoming board members, things
Well,
like that.
you better look into that, I guess, but.
Publications, you know, things run in the paper.
Yeah, so, we had $1,000 in there. Some of that's probably because of all the finance director stuff, so I put 1,000 back in there for the time being.
We had a lot for management, we had a lot of,
Bidding,
mhm.
okay. Well,
Let's see, office expense.
I don't know. Do we know, are we gonna have a roughly same amount of bids going out in the next year, or is that she was just saying that a good amount of that publication, some of it's for the finance director stuff and all those ads, there was a good amount of management that went out this year?
We read a lot for management.
Right, but aren't we on 3 years now?
I think
So we
so. A
might
lot of them were
Be able to
3-year
back it off just a little bit.
Well,
Till next
it looks
year,
like
or
we're
leave
over
it-
budget. We're over budget this year, so maybe leave it what it was
Right.
at the budget at $1,000 and
And that was probably, so that was the position.
Dog stuff.
Yeah.
Dog stuff last year. Is regarding that, expense of the 6,100?
The office expense.
office expense.
Yeah. When there was a big change, and if you look at previous history, then all of a sudden, bang,
Yeah.
dog stuff.
Well, this year it's not too high
Yeah,
so far, so.
yeah.
I'd put it in
Well-
there what the budget was for 2018. Publications probably do the same thing. Mileage and travel, that's us.
Yes.
I'm guessing it'll be similar,
Mhm.
unless you have a better way of determining it. I assume it's probably 14,000, like it was there. Dues, UCCI, what's that?
That's the,
Oh,
the change every year. They reimburse us every year. Well, I think every year they have for the last 6 years that I've been here anyway.
Okay, we'll put the 1,500 in, I guess. And then, service contracts, nothing, grant writing expense, nothing. Legal fees. I'm guessing that's a standard number, she just always puts in of 10,000, so for the time being, put in a 10,000.
Hard to say.
I'd put 10,000 in for the time being. We can look at it again. It looks like in the well, yeah, it goes all over the place, doesn't it? It looks like she just put 10,000 in because nobody knows what the number is. Auditor, we have to get that updated, don't we? The bid. I would. The actual year to date was 42. I don't know why she had. It's actually in line with what the 2017 was. I think she just raised it in case there was an increase in the, maybe just put it in at 44 or something for the time being. Similar to last year's budget, or this, I guess the year we're sitting in budget. That'll roughly get us through that. We'll at least have numbers.
Well, last year's note was the audit fee is $38,200 for full audit with the, plus $5,000 for the public health. So they had a kind of a locked-in number that must come out to the 42.
Right.
Well, put 42,500 in, I guess, and then we're gonna have to get that nailed down with them if we're gonna.
42.5.
That sound fine for now? Okay. We'll put 42,500 in for today. for 2019 on the auditor. Other?
Mean miscellaneous? Oh, other.
No, sorry,
Okay.
I'm gonna move on unless somebody has something else to say about the
Okay.
county board stuff. To general fund other, 615. The group insurance, didn't we get, wasn't there some comment about that? Or was that when we were talking on Friday?
Yeah. It is,
We got a percentage for next year.
it went down another 1.5% to,
Like 5%.
right here. So we're at a 4% increase now.
4%.
So I had that number.
Okay.
Dental, I think, increased just by a couple of cents. And then vision, there's no change in vision.
Okay.
And we don't have the renewal for life insurance yet, but that hasn't changed in a couple of years either.
Okay. Well, then I would, for the group insurance, just put it in at
4%.
the 4% increase. And then life insurance, if it hasn't been going up, we'll just leave it flat. What else here? Employee benefits accumulated sick pay. That's just when somebody leaves.
That's the half-rate sick pay that's paid out once a year, so that's the one that I said we usually calculate, assuming everybody's going to take their half-rate
Okay.
sick pay, so I can accumulate that based on what it would be right now
Okay.
and get a,
Soil and water conservation, we should have a number for that, huh? That's the rent that they're paying?
That's,
Or no, I guess that wouldn't be an expense. That would, was that for getting the floors cleaned or something? What was the?
well, that was for them, I think, promoting recycling, or, because it seems to me that was, that $2,000.
I thought that was for the floors and all that kind of stuff too.
But we only did that every so many years.
We just
Yeah.
did it though, didn't we?
Yeah, but what, but yeah, I mean, if you
Oh,
look
you
back
mean
over
for the
history
back
though,
history.
like what, because yeah, that, we would have had to pay for that.
Yeah,
but-
I forgot what they were doing down there, but it seems to me, and the money I thought actually come out of the recycling fund, you know, that
Maybe if you
old
could have
CD
Jill or
money that
whoever
we've
look
had laying
into
around
that and
for a
see
while.
what that's
Chiseled
for.
away at every now and then.
It looks like it's always in the rough ballpark of where it is, so assuming,
Yeah,
I guess look into what it is, but assuming that it's gonna continue, I'd just put it in for whatever that is. Industrial development.
that's Ken, and
Oh,
that
I know.
amount, he just submitted his claim to me, so that amount will show here next month is $25,000 for
Let's
this
put-
year, so.
Put 25 in the budget for now. Birth and death certificate. I don't know what that is, but put $400 in.
That's, I think they get $1 for each
Okay.
birth and death certificate that they,
We got about this, we,
Is it two, isn't it? I
Well,
just
either-
got one the other day and it was $12 and I
Okay.
think $2 it said fee, so.
okay. I think
It's an
they might-
amazingly
they might get
consistent number
$1
there.
for-
They get $1, we get
they
$1.
Yeah.
it's within $20 every year.
Yep.
Okay,
they keep it
I'll put 400 in for that. Regional Office of Education, I'm guessing we don't, oh no, we have that on Thursday or Wednesday they're coming? Or we have a number from them, we don't have a say in it? What was the deal on that?
Don't think we have a say in that.
It's your very
Yeah,
last page in the book.
your last page in the book.
Oh, yeah, that's one we split up with Kankakee.
Yeah.
Very back.
Yeah,
He's,
yeah.
as of now, not able to attend.
8447, which is basically in line with this year, so I put that number in. Okay, joint dispatch. That's the transfer out of the general fund to pay for their salaries. Yeah. Probably need to wait until we talk with them.
Right.
And get all that straightened out. Public safety and all the other convoluted mess that is. Do you have numbers from them yet, or?
I do.
And that's, was that a standard calculation of how that was paid? Excuse me.
Not sure. I don't know if she did 2018 based on,
I think that changed, didn't it?
I think so.
I believe so.
Oh, yeah, because then we got, there was a portion they were paying for the salaries.
Exactly. And we,
I put it in right now at the same amount, and we'll have to figure out what that is. That was the whole 33% and all
Yeah,
that stuff.
34% based on the cost.
But,
That amount represents
yeah, you're right.
where the sheriff and Anita and I would get together and figure out how much the city of Watsika was gonna pay, how much the county was gonna pay, and how much the safety agencies were gonna pay.
Okay.
And that obviously hasn't been done yet. We have to figure out what the costs are gonna be for joint dispatch in total, and how much money can be transferred out of the telephone surcharge, which 34% is only a guideline.
Yeah.
That the state police have issued. There's nothing in the statute that limits us to that. And we may decide, because of our financial position this year, we may decide we want to increase that.
Yeah, we need to get to that's a kind of a complicated one.
Right.
So,
But typically, the city of Watsika and the county have paid equal amounts. And it's been somewhat arbitrarily decided what those amounts will be, so I think it'll probably be that way this year.
well, we need to put that on the agenda maybe for August 9th, I guess.
As soon as we know what joint dispatch cost is gonna be, I think we can begin to address that whole thing.
Do you have that, you said, though? He submitted something? or-
I have his sheet. He'll be here. He's on the schedule for the regular August 9th meeting to present his budget.
So just push it off till then,
I
or?
guess so. I mean, I'll get together with Amanda, and we can probably get a hold of the sheriff and start looking at it and seeing what we can work out.
We'll put it on the agenda to figure out what that number is.
Yep.
And in the meantime, hopefully some of those conversations can happen. Okay. The only other thing was a contingency. So maybe
Well, we usually wait until last.
wait till the end on that.
We argue about that.
All right, that'll at least get us closer. And I think that was everything for today. Anything else? Looks like on Wednesday, 2 days from today, we have Treasurer Bob Yergler. Have we heard anything about the revenue, or Kyle was supposed to talk to him, I think.
Yes, I don't have anything yet.
Okay. Hopefully tomorrow, we get a revenue number from him, is the hope. The two Lisas, Eric Stacy, Animal Control, Veterans, and the revenue. So, Guess unless anybody has anything else, we'll do it again on Wednesday. We have a motion to adjourn.
I so move.
Second.
All in favor of adjourning? Aye.
Russell, a few years back, everybody got,
I think we're adjourned, sorry.
everybody got